guilty. The Qur'an says in chapter 12, Surah Yusuf, تِلْكَ آيَاتُ الْكِتَابِ الْمُبِينِ, that this Qur'an represents the divine writ which makes things clear. Mubin, I told you, is Arabic. It comes from the verb abana, to make things clear. All you Muslims who claim you are studying and hugging and kissing this Qur'an and it is not clear, the problem is not in the Qur'an, the problem is with you. The problem is not with the Qur'an, the problem is with the Muslims who are reading it. Because I will refer these verses to ourselves. We have a mental problem. We have a bigger problem. If Allah says in the Qur'an, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ, ask every housewife who's crazy over Bollywood and Hollywood. They don't have a problem remembering the names of superstars, right? Ask the children who are crazy over cricket and soccer and all the kind of sports. Nobody has a problem remembering their superstars. Nobody has a problem finding time to participate in their games, to look at special events. Nobody has time for that. Almost all the people who don't have time to study the Qur'an have time for things that are less than the Qur'an. But we are not an honest people. We are not brought up where our honesty is tested. Because we were brought up with cheap religion. And we like cheap religion. Cheap religion, we can give $5 to somebody and they can do something on our behalf. That's the way we were brought up. Islam was not made clear to us. That's a philosophy of getting out of the dump, of getting out of the garbage, of getting out of the darkness, of getting out of stagnation, of getting out of your negatives and rising to the positive. Islam was not introduced to us like that. So when we hear people speak like that, we are alarmed. Why are they saying like that? Why is he saying like that? Nobody normally speaks like that. They tell you how many blessings you're getting in this month. You need a calculator to count your blessings. Because according to them, every letter of the Qur'an you read, you will get 10 blessings. Right? This is the height of stupidity in trying to understand Qur'an. This is the height of stupidity. And they sell this all over the place. Why? Because they know the masses are so ignorant. And they're full of stagnation that they need some sort of solace and thing to make them feel nice. One of the verses I want to share with you and myself about what the Qur'an really is. Allah describes the mission of the messengers. He describes the mission of the messengers. He says, جَاءُوا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ. What these messengers came with? جَاءُوا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ. They didn't have to wait 10 years in their lives to get bayinat. They didn't have to wait 23 years or 40 years in their life to get bayinat. If you look at chapter 2, 183, the Qur'an represents bayinat min al-huda. And all the messengers of God, they didn't come with anything that was ambiguous. جَاءُوا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ وَبِالزُّبُرِ. And if you study the translation of Zubur, it's Psalms of David. That's what they translate. It doesn't mean anything like that. The local translation you have in Urdu or in English, in any kind of language, here is the translation. They translate, جَاءُوا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ. They came with manifest clarity. وَبِالزُّبُرِ. And with the Psalms of David. Okay. All the messengers could never come with the Psalms of David. The Psalms of David, particular to Dawood. But it is easy to take cultural words, popular words, and that is what has happened to the Muslims. As they read and try to study, they reach a dead end because they don't study on themselves. They don't study on their own. They accept the translation as gospel. And that's why you get where you are. Zubur in the Arabic language, Zubair is a person who is very powerful. Zubair is a person who is very powerful. So Zubur means a book of tremendous power and capability. Compare that with your popular translation. Ja'u bil bayyinat. All the messengers came with bayyinat. That which is manifestly clear. It doesn't need anything else to explain it. But this is the challenge of Muslims. They claim the Qur'an is not clear. That's why 9 out of 10 Muslims are not students of the Qur'an. They don't even know to read the Qur'an. 9 out of 10 Muslims can hardly read the Qur'an. Don't talk about understanding the language of the Qur'an. Don't talk about understanding the sense of the Qur'an. You gotta go perhaps in 100 you might barely get one. Or in 1,000 you might get one. Because this is not currency with the Muslims. So the Qur'an says, جَاءُوا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ وَالزُّبُرِ وَالْكِتَابِ الْمُنِيرِ. All the messengers came with what? Bayinat. Bayinat means that which is very, very clear. وَالزُّبُرِ, and full of capability, full of power, full of substance. Where is the substance in the life of the Muslims? This is the month they read Qur'an from morning till night. And when the moon, what they call the moon of Shawwal comes, they're back to square one. Where is their power? If you behave like a parrot, you will develop the capability of a parrot. وَالْكِتَابِ الْمُنِيرِ. In Arabic, anara is the verb. It's the transitive verb. فعل متعدي. The transitive verb says here, Al-Kitab al-Munir, that the Qur'an and all the books that the messengers brought have the capability to brighten up society. Hear this? How come you are still living in darkness? How come you and your families are still in darkness? How come we are all still in darkness? How come we are in the same stupidity we were dealing with 20 years in our life? How come we are not an epoch-making force in the lives of our children? You know why? Because we read the Qur'an for what others read it for. We don't read it to change. We don't want to be the person before our eyes are shut. We can change ourselves. We can change our children. We can impact on our society. The Qur'an is telling you and me, it is called Al-Kitab al-Munir. Ask anybody who knows Arabic language. Munir comes from the verb anara, to shed light, to brighten, to enlighten, to really present the situation that will make darkness run a mile, as we say. You gotta ask yourself, and I have to ask myself, divine loftiness requires us to read a lot, or it requires us to ponder a lot and perspire a lot? Popular religion make people read a lot. Popular religion make people read a lot. Divine loftiness make people read little. Study a lot. Contemplate a lot. Reflect a lot. And perspire a lot. The choice is yours and mine. The bottom line is, what is the purpose of Siyam? The popular translation of Siyam is fasting. But in essence, the word Siyam does not mean fasting. In essence, in any of the lexicons of the Arabic language, whether it is Lisan al-Arab, or Taj al-Arus, or any one of the books, more